Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome to episode 8 of AdventureCast, the podcast that revolves around AQW and everything AE. I am your host, Lankey. God, Lankey again. What's going on? Can't talk. Today, my name is Lankey. If it happens again, I'm just going to go with it. That's my new name, I guess. Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome to episode 8 of AdventureCast, the podcast that revolves around AQW and everything AE. I am your host, Lankey, and today, as always, I am joined by Thrud.
Yo.
Alrighty, guys, today for episode 8, we are going to go through an article that Artix posted on Artix.com. It's a little bit of a catch-up post, and he kind of goes into detail about a lot of things, about what's going on at AE, kind of just talking about like AQ Mobile. He does that a little bit, and just it's a really good catch-up post, I think. And Thread, well, we both think so, and we kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit, because it answered a lot of questions that I had, and I feel like it also answers a lot of questions that other people had that I've been seeing. It's a really good update post, to be honest. And then we're going to go into some questions on Discord that in the last episode I said we would answer this episode. And some questions on Discord that I answered in one of my other previous episodes that I think are generally good questions, and I like to hear what Thrud has to say about those. But that's where we're going to start. We're going to start with the article. Alrighty, so the article that Artix posted is titled, "Hey, let's catch up." So it's a catch-up post. And I am going to skip past where he talks about who he is, because we all know who he is. And I think we'll start where he talks about how every game has its own team. So I'm going to try to read through what he wrote, and then we will talk about it. So if anyone's already read this, then you're going to hear it again from me, and I'll try to narrate it as best as I can. But he starts off by saying, "Every game has its own team. Each of our major games has a dedicated team. We call the person in charge of the game lead. Hindsight being 2020, wish we would have gone with Dungeon Master, Game Master. I agree, probably Dungeon Master would have been the best option. That would have been really cool."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. An easy way of thinking about it is each game is run like its own studio. Each game pays for its team and costs. The game's artists, animators, and coders create the game content that is released each week. But we have shared things that help all of the games, like player support. Player support is a dedicated team of 4 people with Nythera as its lead. Other shared things include the physical office, our online shop Hero Mart, accounting, legal, marketing, the server farm, and our unbelievably awesome server administrator, Captain Rhubarb. We mentioned Captain Rhubarb in the last episode, and I don't know if it was the real Captain Rhubarb, but he commented on the last episode. He didn't really say anything. He commented just like ... because I think he was referring to that joke, like kind of just kidding question that someone that I can't remember the person's name, but they asked, and I thought that was pretty funny. He probably has heard that question hundreds of times, but the article continues, "When I started this post, I did not intend to make it the inner workings of an indie game studio post, but I am sure there are a few people reading this with the intent of finding something terribly wrong or dramatizable, but I am sharing with you just as if you were sitting with me in person and asked, so how does this actually work? It's good to know, so let me keep going." And he goes on to talk about creating new games. Creating a new game is one of the funnest, hardest, and most fulfilling things a game dev can do. Right now, we are hard at work on Adventure Quest Worlds Mobile. That is not the real name, because it would be really weird to play a game with the word mobile in its title on Steam and other platforms. The trickiest part of making new games is figuring out how to keep all of the existing stuff going while you do it. The best solution is to hire new people that can free up other people to work on new stuff. However, the budget does not always allow that. I wonder what they're going to settle on the new game. It'd be hard just to rename a game like AQ2D doesn't. To be honest, I don't like that name, because that it. Like, Adventure Quest Worlds works. Like, I like that name. But then they're gonna read, what they're doing with it to do the mobile. I mean, that does make sense that it'd be weird if it was called that on Steam and other platforms. But calling it AQ2D is, I mean, it's a 2D game, and all their games are except AQ3D. So I don't know what they're going to actually end up even calling it.
I don't know, but this does have a very vital piece of information in here, that I was wondering about personally until he did put it in this post. But yeah, it's not going to just be on mobile. It's going to be on, I mean, they're looking to get it on Steam, which means they're looking to get it on computer.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a way to play outside of Flash, which is amazing.
That is amazing. I wonder if this new, the new and improved, I guess, AQ Worlds, I wonder if not being on Flash and being on Steam and all that good stuff, I wonder if that will reduce the lag of the game.
Most likely, if they're going, I mean, yeah, they're going to use something better than Flash. And you should be able to run animations and stuff on classes without the game losing frames from it.
Yeah, that's, it's funny. I always thought when I first started playing AQW and I saw the lag, I was like, this was like right when I first started playing. I had like a really, like, just a crappy little home computer, and a little laptop. It wasn't anything good, but I was like, oh, it's just my computer, right? It's not good. And then years down the road, like years down the road, I upgraded to a much new and improved PC build, and it still lags. So I'm like, oh, okay. So it's not the computer, because this is a very good computer that can run Skyrim on PC no problem, but AQW, it just freaks out. I'm like, okay. So hopefully if it's on Steam and everything else, it's like perfect, buttery, just good. That's all I want. Just good. No lag. And you know what I did the other day? I went on Adventure Quest 3D, and I don't know, like, it was actually pretty cool. I had fun running around and fighting things, and they did like a random the developers did like a random in-game event in Yolgar, and it was actually really fun. So I'm definitely going to be hopping back on that and experimenting with that, and I actually have plans for videos that I want to do. But there was things in that game that I was like, man, it would be so cool if AQW did this. And had this implemented in the game. And one of the big ones, which I don't know how they could do it, and it doesn't really work with a 2D game, but gosh, I wish they did. Is like a camera mode. So like you could film like little skits rather than just like a flat like a flat idle 2D image. Like, I wish you could, like, kind of move a camera around, but, I mean, it wouldn't work, but I loved that about AQ3D, because I was like, oh, this is perfect. I can make, like, so many funny little, like, 2-minute, like, funny skits, and all these cool, creative ideas for videos that I want to do, that I can't do in AQW, really. I hope that with this new AQ Worlds game, I hope there's new things that they implement into it. And one thing that I really liked about AQ3D was that like in-game event that I like was a part of. I was in a call with HeliMod, and I hopped on, and he was kind of showing me around and telling me all about it. And he's like, "Oh, come to Yolgar. There's a game event going on. The developers are doing this." And I'm like, "What?" And I don't know, they had these random monsters like spawning in Yolgar, and like everybody, there were so many people in this Yolgar. I don't know the room limit in AQ3D for things, but like, like AQW, it's only like 10 or 7 or 10. And it was so crazy. Like, no one was AFK. Everyone was in Yolgar talking and fighting. I was like, this is so much fun. Like, why don't they do things like this in AQ Worlds? Like, the community over there, I mean, every community has like problems and stuff, and he was telling me all that. But at that moment, at least, it seemed like very social, and I was like, this is so much fun. I had a lot of fun playing that. So I hope they can take maybe the pros from maybe AQ3D, even though my knowledge of it is still in its infancy. But things that players like in that game, and somehow, if it's possible, implement them into AQW, because AQW, I think is, and I believe I saw someone on Twitter mention this too, but AQW is like very stuck in the times, like when it was created, like it was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome when it was created, but as the years go on, it's very like stuck in its time period. And I'm hoping with this new AQW, they can implement new ideas and like new things to kind of reinvigorate people's like love for the game. Like, yes, not just like, oh, we're hyping all this up, this new AQW, and it's gonna be on Steam, and people are getting all excited, but then when they open it, it's literally just basically like opening the game from the launcher, but just from Steam. Like, I'm hoping they can implement new things so people will be like, wow, this is like the new, like 2021 new and improved AQ Worlds Mobile, or AQ2D, whatever they're gonna call it.
So I think when it first comes out, it's probably going to just be like opening the game from a new launcher, right? But over time, it would be really cool to see things like that implemented, right? Mm-hmm. One of the things that I really liked from my time playing Adventure Quest 3D was the Christmas event with I think it was a chest Thulu.
Okay.
And the game gave everybody 10 chests, right?
Okay.
And you could spawn the chest in a room, and then everybody in that room could fight that chest and get whatever was in it, right?
Oh, okay. So yeah.
It was really cool because people were like kind of giving gifts to everybody else in the room by summoning their gift to Thulu.
Right.
And we were all just kicking butt and getting drops, Yeah. And I think the player limit is 50, if I remember correctly.
Wow.
But yeah, there was a lot of people. I couldn't see anything on my screen at that point. it was like a WoW raid almost.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. When I was talking a little bit ago about the event in Yolgar, we were fighting chests, these big chests, and they were dropping these, like, I apologize, I don't remember what they're called, some tokens and stuff like that, but it would also drop these drops that you can only get from this chest from like this event, as far as I know. But yeah, it was like a WoW raid. Like, everyone was in there, and I was like, there's no lag. I'm like, this is great. If only Adventure Quest Worlds had no lag. Like, it was just so like, this is great. I'm having so much fun playing this game. But we were fighting chess, but that event was fun. I had a great time, and I don't know how often they do that. Helimod said they do it quite often. I mean, I hope it's not like every 2 days, because people would just like expect it. It's kind of more fun when it's just like out of the blue, like, oh, this is happening right now, you better get here before it ends. But yeah, that was really fun.
Adventure Quest Worlds does have something similar, but it's just whenever new content is released, everybody flocks to it, right? So you get all the rooms filled up with 10 people in them, or 7, depending on the map.
Right.
And everybody's like at the boss, killing the boss over and over again. And some of the bosses do require a team setup to make it to where you're farming it efficiently without dying over and over again.
Yeah.
So there is that I think is really good, but it would be cool if you could bring it like to Yolgar,
Yeah.
Like, hey, this boss is coming in Yulgar. Get ready.
Like, Yolgar's under attack. Like, just random, like what? Like, what are you, Yolgar's under attack? I better go check this out.
And they've done stuff like that for April Fools, too. I'm pretty sure. I might be pulling something, like, out of my rear here, but I think that they did have something like that for April Fools.
Right.
1 year.
The one thing that just also really stood out to me was everyone in Yolgar was, like, talking. It was very social, like how it should be. Because, I don't know, now, I'm just speaking from being on the game for about 2 hours and playing this random little event, and everyone was talking. I do not know how the game is normally. I don't know how it, if it's always like that. But from my time, I'm just only speaking from that time I was playing. It seemed social, and everyone was talking, everyone was fighting, and everyone was very active. Rather, because when a new release comes out in AQW, aside from when I meet up with people from the Discord and we have like a little like, let's play this event together kind of thing. Other than that, we're all talking to each other while we're farming the boss or playing the event and this and that. But normally, if I'm just playing by myself, not doing that, no one's talking. Like, if I need like help on a boss, like I need a team, like let's farm this, I'll type up like, anyone want to, anyone at this boss or anyone want to farm this, and just I'll go through rooms and rooms and switch servers and no one's talking. Like, I could type in chat and just no one's talking, and I'm like, come on, like, this is a social game. Like, that's one of the, like, 50% of this game is like social. Like, you're there to play with people and talk and have fun and make friends and all that. And I wish that could be a thing. I don't know what they could do, like, with the new AQW being released on Steam and all that, like, to try to encourage and implement that. I don't know. There's a lot of things that I think would be really good improvements, like to make the game very interactive. I'm just gonna make up a total off the top of my head kind of thing. This isn't something I just sat down and planned out for this episode, but let's say there's a boss, right? And the boss is, you're fighting, say you're with a party or whatever, and it's challenging. Like, it's actually hard. Like, I don't mean like Dark Souls boss hard, because that's ridiculous, but but hard nonetheless, to where it's actually, even if you have like a really, really good class, it's still kind of a challenge. It's not like an AFK-able thing where you're like, you can just sit there and smack it in like 2 hits and it's dead. But you're sitting there, right, and you're fighting with everyone. Everyone's attacking this, and then maybe like he throws like an attack, and different things pop on the screen that you have to kind of click to I don't know, like maybe deflect his attack, or like this weird monster, whatever his powers are, he shoots something on your screen, and you have to do these things on the screen to kind of like get your vision back, or it'll stun him for a second. Like, make it very interactive, so you have to always be paying attention to the screen. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think of things like how you would do it for a 2D game, but things like that to make it so you can't just sit there, watch YouTube, and look at your screen every few minutes and just keep attacking the boss. Very AFK. Because that to be honest with you, that gets stale after a while. You might be grinding for something. You're like, oh, I got to get like 300 of this item. And, you're just sitting there for a few hours, not really even paying attention to the game, and just mindlessly grinding while you're watching a Netflix series or something. That would be really, really cool if they could implement stuff like that, to things. 'Cause I think it would get people talking more, and I feel like it would get player numbers up, because people would be like, whoa, this is like, I remember playing this game, and then they'll be like, but it was very, some parts were very AFK-able, but then they see this and they're like, whoa, I need to check this out. And then they're like, oh, I love this game again. I want to play it. Let's get everyone to play. And there's also so much that would add so many new ideas for content, like in the YouTube scene for people to make, and that would get like it back rolling really big on like the on YouTube. I don't know. I just think that something like that would be pretty cool, I think.
So there are a few bosses that do something similar already. There's the Manticore, where he'll poison you, and there's a button that you have to click to like cleanse the poison.
Right.
And there's also only 2 bosses in the game that I cannot currently solo, and that's Chaos Kraken and Ultra Lion Fang. And the reason I can't solo them is Lion Fang's DOT is just too heavy to survive by yourself, because each time he hits you, it stacks up, so you need to have other people there,
right?
So that it kind of doesn't all stack up on one person. And then the Kraken, he slows your ability speed down, so it kind of slows the game down to a halt, almost, to where you're sitting there basic attacking him every I want to say like 5 seconds instead of like every 2 seconds, so you aren't getting your mana back. You're sat there stuck, and you can't do damage by yourself.
Right.
There's also, I'm trying to remember what his name was. He was in the Arcane Grove story, the Chaos Lord in that one.
Ledgermane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, he would nuke the living poop out of you and your squad if you didn't go sit in those circles. That was a cool boss. Everybody remembered that boss.
Yeah, that boss was really cool. I agree with you on that. I remember that. Ledgermane was, or I mean, still is, but Ledgermane is a really cool boss to fight.
There's also, like, a lot of the Chaos Lords were really cool. With because they did have boss mechanics.
Yeah.
But the Troll one, I think, is the one with the damage reflect that then got given to Binky, the unicorn.
Yeah.
So you can sit through the entire Binky fight without worrying now because of mana shields, damage reduction, all of that. But once he does that damage reflect, if you're not paying attention, you and everybody you're with they're going to one shot themselves.
Yeah.
So that's one other thing that makes you look at your screen, because you need to wait for Binky can now foresee and counter all attacks.
He gets smacked.
So oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have one shot myself multiple times on there.
Right.
Trying to help somebody kill Binky. And it's kind of embarrassing too, because it's like, oh yeah, I can solo Binky. Here I am. And then
I'm just go, Thrud. I can solo Binky.
Yeah, and then you go and murder yourself in front of them.
Yeah.
So.
And they're like, what the heck? And you're like, I can explain, I swear.
Yeah. Oh, that stupid foresee encounter.
I did not foresee it coming. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I don't know. I'm very hopeful for this. I mean, I'm not losing sleep like, oh yeah, like, you know, but there's also part of me that's like, I think they can do this. And it'll be good, but I hope to definitely see like different new ideas like that added to the game, because man, like that Ledgermane fight, you're right, that like I remember the boss and everything, and then I haven't thought about that boss fight in a long time. I haven't fought that boss since it came out, probably. I had no reason to. We're
so tanky now that it doesn't one-shot us anymore. So you don't have to stay in the circles anymore. But back in the day when our health bars were hard stuck at 2,000 cap, that's when you were truly in fear of Ledgermane's nuke. Oops, excuse me, I burped.
Hey, good. That
was kind of gross.
Yeah. The Ledgermane armor was cool too. I remember everyone was farming that. It felt so cool it felt really cool to get a drop from Ledgermane, because it was a fun boss fight. It was entertaining. It was hard. So when you got at least one of the items, or you finally completed the whole set, you're like, yes. That was so cool. That was awesome.
Even now, getting the Arcane Staff of Supremacy, I think is what it's called. It's like, it looks so cool. His whole vibe is there.
I enjoy Ledgermane a lot. That makes me want to go back and fight Ledgermane, like, now. That's fun.
Oh, the Supreme Arcane Staff.
Supreme Arcane Staff, okay. Yeah. I wonder if I still have the Ledgermane drops, like armor in my bank. I mean, not that it matters, I can just go get it again if I don't, but I wonder if I still do. That's a cool armor. That's a cool, like, story. I liked the Ledgermane.
Oh, yeah.
That was cool. That was really fun.
Plus, they had 2 of the best classes ever introduced into the game. Like, the classes that were in that storyline were the best class in the game for a while.
Right.
Too. So,
yeah.
Just all around, that story was a really good story.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't remember what... I said this at the beginning of this, not this podcast, but like a few earlier episodes, I was saying like the releases and the stories used to, and I don't, Hellybot said he remembers this too, and I was like, good, because I guess I'm not going crazy. Like, I'm not the only one who remembers this, but like releases back then, and I don't know if it was because we were younger and didn't really have a sense of time because we were so involved in the game and stuff. But releases felt like they took a long time. Like, quite a long time to complete. And, like, the stories are like, wow, like, really, really good. But, like, now, like, I feel like I complete a release so fast. And I don't know if that's just because I'm better at the game and the classes nowadays are so just overpowered. But I do remember a time when they were A, really long, and B, like really, really good. Like, you guys came up with this in a week. Like, this is nuts. And that does still happen today, but it's just not as often as it was back then. Like, back then, it was almost like every week was like, we could not wait for like the next release. Now, at least for me, it's like, you know, it'll happen and then there'll be release after release after release where I'm like, that was pretty good. Like, I wasn't super into it. And it's just really fast. Like, I felt like I complete a release in like 15, 20 minutes. I'm like, oh, that's it. Like, I don't know. But, that might be because most of the team is over at AQ3D and all that. So there's not like this huge core of like all the golden era of like the people like making AQW, because they're all over at AQ3D, which I don't blame them. That, you know, that's a really big thing. But I don't know. That's just something I noticed.
I mean, me personally, yeah, it did feel like the releases back in the day did take me longer, but it's probably, I think there's 2 like big factors that went into it. One, I was only allowed to play on the weekend when I was younger.
Right.
And then 2, I was going around slapping things with warrior class, like a starting class, because it was one of the higher damage classes back in the day. So, you know, you had to kind of deal with a single target.
Yeah.
Not being able to hit everything. And then I just didn't have time to farm better classes at the time, honestly.
Right.
And then I got Paladin High Lord, which it's similar damage to Warrior, if it wasn't in a party.
Yeah.
But it did it with an AoE attack. So that was kind of revolutionary for my accounts.
Yeah.
And what I was able to do. And I mean, yeah, there are some releases now that do take a little bit more time, like Darkon's release. It took me a bit of time to beat.
Yeah, I enjoyed Darkon's releases. I'm like, okay, this is a good story. I'm very invested in this. I like to really put all my focus in it because I really, really enjoy those releases.
There was also the Star Wars themed, but not it's on Artix's Twitter too, which is it was the one where we went into the future where I can't talk without spoiling the story.
Right.
But there's Mecha DoomKnights.
The was it the Doomwood Part 3? Was it like
Yes,
the yeah, okay. Yeah, that was cool.
Doomwood Part 3 took a while
It
for me
did.
to go through. And it had a really cool armor to farm at the end of it. So
I've always liked the Doomwood series. I remember when the first part of Doomwood came out. I was like, this is really cool. And I just like the whole story that brought to the table. And then, finally kind of wrapping it up. It was cool. I liked it. It felt good. That was a good release. You're right.
Dude, the chopping mall, all
Yes!
of the puns in that place.
Oh my
that
God.
is one of my favorite maps in the game, just because of the puns everywhere.
Because I had like a bunch of storefronts like in a mall, but they were all puns, and they were all really good.
Even the map name is mall, as in you're going to like tear something up, like you're mauling something instead of mall as in a store place.
Exactly.
So
I remember one of the storefronts was Starbucks, but it was like Scarbucks or something. Scarbucks, yeah. I was like, okay, that was a good one. Yeah, that is a really good map. I could not. That's funny that you bring that up. I was thinking about that, not as in recently, probably like months ago, but or not months ago. I was thinking about that when the Doomwood came out, and I was like, what is the name of that map? But yeah, Chopping Mall, that's right.
I had to join the map just so I could get the puns. But there's World of DoomKnights for World of Warcraft.
Okay, yeah.
Grave Stop for GameStop. Left 4 Dead 2. There's Starbucks Coffee. Try our new Draco Lich Cup. Scalding hot coffee every day. Bloodbath and Body Works.
For Bed Bath and Body Works.
Morticia's Secret. Oh man, there's one that's hidden by like my little where my health bar and mana bar is, but there's one behind it and I can't see the name of the store right because of it. But there's Walden Crooks. I don't know what that one is. It looks like a bookstore. Radioactive Shack.
Okay. God, Radio Shack. What? Oh no. I remember Radio Shack. I had one right by my house.
I don't know that I've seen any in a while now that I think about it.
Yeah, Radio Shack kind of just disappeared.
Painless Shoe Source.
That's for Payless shoes.
Oh, we have Evil Corp. We have a store from them. The GNC.
Yeah.
General Necromancy Sensor. DK Jewelers.
I don't know how they come up with these puns, man.
My brain cannot.
I can't do that either. I'm not creative in that way. I'm not funny like that. Like I just can't do that.
I know that both Artix and Aaliyah can both speak in pun really well.
Very fluent in pun.
You can't like write a language in pun because the pun has to be related to something else, but
yeah,
I feel like they could definitely speak their own language of puns, and no one else in the office would have any idea what they were saying.
they're sitting there like all day trying to scratch his brain, like what is he referring to when he says this? Like, what is this?
The puns were on point, 10 out of 10 in this map. I'm gonna figure out what Walden Crooks was.
What could that? It's a bookstore, you said, like in the game.
Yes.
What on earth could that be?
Is it Walden Books?
Is it really that easy?
It might be. It was Walden Books.
So it's that easy. I've never heard of Walden Books before.
I'll look into the Wikipedia on it real quick and see when it shut down because I haven't seen it either. It is defunct. The word for like a store shutting down.
I don't think I've ever used defunct in a sentence.
I've never seen this word before. There's so many words in the... Okay, apparently it's also a video game. Defunct is a video game.
I saw that when no longer existing or functioning. I don't think I've ever used defunct in a sentence.
It shut down in 2011.
Oh, really?
So right after... That's kind of cool that there's kind of like a tombstone to the store inside of AQW.
That is cool. I'm surprised that they didn't... I mean, this store did not exist in a mall as far as I'm concerned. It was always an actual store, but I'm surprised they didn't, or did they? I don't think they did do like a Blockbuster pun.
No, there's got to be a Blockbuster pun in here.
There has to
I
be.
refuse. I refuse to believe that there's not a Blockbuster pun inside of this game.
That's just asking for a pun.
I think I've seen some of them inside of mall. Like, they were kind of set up like how GameStops are set up now. It's kind of crazy? My brother's 5 years younger than me. I don't think he remembers what Blockbuster looks like.
Oh no. That I feel old. Oh no. No. That's so weird to think. Oh my gosh, that is so weird to think that people younger than us don't remember certain things. Or, oh man. That is so weird to me. I don't know. I recently found it was my dad's, his old Blockbuster membership card, and I found it.
That could sell for quite a bit on eBay.
I know. I found it somewhere in the house, and I was like, I am framing this because this is like finding gold. This is a rare find.
I think my mom still carries hers on her keychain.
That's awesome. I still have the Blockbuster membership card. That is so funny.
I have some movies and video games from Blockbuster too.
Yeah. Oh, I think I do too. I have one or two movies that just never got returned. They're just with me forever. Man, oh my gosh, Blockbuster was so cool. That was such a great thing.
It was really cool going inside and seeing all of the stuff like put in front of you instead of having it on a screen.
It's so weird. This is such a weird thing to like remember. But I'm sure other people remember this as well, but I don't know why. But something that always sticks with me is I remember the smell of Blockbuster. I don't know if that's weird, but I remember what it was like walking in and just like the smell of Blockbuster. Like, it wasn't bad or anything, but some reason that always stuck with me. I'm like, yeah, I remember what Blockbuster smells like. I think that's weird. Actually, now that I say it out loud.
I don't remember the smell, but I remember always getting one of the Krabby Patty gummies when I went there.
Yes.
And they were 99 cents.
Yes. Oh.
And it was like the softest gummy you would put in your mouth ever.
Yeah.
And it was so good.
I still get those today. I still will. Yeah. If I'm going to work, we sell them at my work, so I'll get them randomly as like a snack, or if I go to the gas station, they have them in like a pack of like 10. I'll get them. They're so good. They're so good for some reason. I don't know, man. Blockbuster was cool. I just remember going with my friends, and when we were younger, going over like crossing the main road without our parents knowing to go to Blockbuster. We'd get like, all of us together. We'd go. We'd pick out. It was so cool because we'd pick out a random game that like, oh, this sounds really cool, and it was we have a PlayStation 2 or a PlayStation 1, whatever. We'd get it, and I forget how long they had for you to rent things, but however long that was, we would stay up like all night and day trying to beat it before we had to return it. It was so great. And then we'd go back, return it, grab a new one, play it, try to find out everything about the game, and return it. That was so cool, man.
People speedrun games for fun now, but back in the day, you had to speedrun. There was a legitimate reason for you to speedrun the game.
Oh yeah.
And now that I think about it, I think one of the games that I have from Blockbuster that didn't get returned because I couldn't beat it was The Adventures of Larry from Veggie Tales. And he was like, yes, that game was so good.
That's awesome. There was this one game, I'm looking it up right now and I can't find it. I guess this isn't the name of the game. But I don't know why, but I remember the name of the game being like Time Warp. But I looked up on Google Images Time Warp, and this is not the game. But it was this game, I think it was on the original Xbox or I don't remember what it was on, but it was this futuristic game where you played as this like RoboCop kind of guy, and you had this like ability to like freeze time and kind of like slow motion time, and like you would do all these cool like Matrix things, like fighting all these bad guys, and it sounds like a simple concept, but it was so much fun. Because that was the cool thing about Blockbuster. You would find these random gems of like games. And that's when games were like not redundant. Like there weren't like 20 Call of Duties yet, you know? Like there wasn't all these like just same games. Like these were all like original and they were all fun. And this is when games used to come with, believe it or not, games used to come with a little booklet inside the thing, and they'd come with like maps, and they'd come with all these different things packed in to the thing. And I loved those little booklets. I would read like all the things because they have a lot of interesting like lore and monster information and clues to help you, you know, in the game. And I was like, oh, this is great. And then for some reason, I don't know why, I guess because everything's on the internet and kind of at your fingertips, but they did away with that. And that really hit me when I got a Nintendo Switch and I went to go buy a game. And I don't know if you have a Nintendo Switch, but I went to go buy a game. And, you know, I'm like, yes, I'm holding the game package. I'm like, this looks really cool. I like this. I open it, and I don't know. I just thought in the back of my head, maybe there'll be like, you know, some stuff in here. Opened it, and then right at the very bottom is just this little, it looks like a little like SD card. And I'm like, and there's just nothing else in there. I almost missed it when I opened it because I didn't see it like right there. I was like, where's oh, there it is. I'm like, oh, this is really sad. Because I'm like, what the heck, man? Like, I miss that. That was such a big part of getting games for me, was like having all these manuals and all the art in them. It was so much fun.
I remember when the PSP came out, and it was such a, like, I thought it was so cool that they had the little teeny tiny discs.
Yeah.
And you said like SD card, and I was like, man, it's not even cool. Like,
no, it's not cool. It's not fun anymore.
Like the little discs were, like it was like, yo, it's a small disc. It's a smaller version of something that we have, so it's cool. But like an SD card, I mean, okay,
it's so disappointing.
I'm pretty sure the people that like, you remember using floppy disks and stuff, or probably like, yo, the SD card, or when that thing was released, it was revolutionary. Like they're probably thinking the same. They probably have a completely different viewpoint, but like,
yeah,
it's not. And then you don't have the cool art on it either, because like you'd get games and like just the disc itself would look so cool.
I know. I know. It was.
So
those are the times of the past. It was like, I get it, technology is changing everything, and I understand, but my God, those were, I'm happy that I'm old enough that when those times were going on, like I'm able to remember those times like completely. I'm happy about that, because kids nowadays, man, they have no idea how cool that was. To go get a new game and open it up and the booklets in there and all this cool stuff. They'll never know. Now they open it and see a little Nintendo Switch SD card at the bottom and nothing else.
Yeah, you used to have the manuals telling you the instructions.
Yep.
It's like you'd have the how to play. The controls would be in the very back.
Yeah. And then it would show advertisements for other games like coming out, and I'm like, oh, that looks really cool.
Now all the advertising is like through, I think, mostly YouTube for video games. Yeah, honestly.
Yeah. I miss all that.
If you're a mobile gamer, you got your ads, but
I don't know. The gaming experience has changed so much. Some good, some bad, but man, it was cool getting a new console, like a PS2 or like a GameCube or all that. And like the intros when you turn on the console, like I'll never forget the PS2 just like intro sound of that like atmospheric, like, yeah, blow your ears out. I'm like, that's so cool. You don't get that nowadays. Like my girlfriend has a PS5. Nothing like that happens. It's just room. It's on. I'm like, oh, what? Like, come on, man. Like, God, so much fun, so cool, but not anymore.
Two things that have gotten out of this conversation is that Artix, you guys need to put a launch sound inside of your guys' launcher.
Yeah.
And hey, Malgore could always invade the mall, and then you guys could do an upgraded mall. Update it, and get some more puns in there.
That is
just saying.
True. Yes.
So, Malgore, if you're listening, you need to go to Doomwood because we could have Doomwood Part 4.
Malgore just sitting there, headphones on, scratching his head like, I'm on my way. Like, oh no. Yeah. If you guys are listening, on the off chance that you decide to have a listen and you got this far, please do something like that. Have a startup sound, please.
Even Discord has a startup sound. Now that I think about it, it goes Discorda, and then everybody thinks I'm a degenerate because I have an anime girl yelling at me when my PC connects to the internet.
Yeah.
But yeah, Discord does have a opening sound.
Oh, speaking of sounds, man, we're still at the beginning of this article, but I'm gonna try to wrap this up so we can continue because we're already at almost an hour. But it's a good hour. There's a lot of good stuff in there. But the sounds, if with this new, actually this would be like a lot to ask, and they could probably do this with new releases, but I don't know. That would definitely be hard to do with the old ones. But the sound effects and the music in the game, because I learned like with Flash,
very limiting.
It's very limiting what you can do with audio, and the audio that you can get into it totally crushes the quality. Or you have to make it kind of like bad quality because that's all it can handle. So that would be a really cool thing. Like, because that's a bit, yeah, right. That's a big thing in games for me, is like the music, because that can really affect like everything. Like Dark Souls does a great job at that. But like I always say with movies, without music and without like a score and sound effects, you have no movie. Like it adds. So the music and everything is like its own character. Like 75% of your movies is like the score and the Foley, the sound effects. Like that does so much. So with this new AQW, that would be a really cool thing for them to do. If they do, I don't even know if they even release music still, like with releases, because I've played with the sounds off and sound effects off for years, and I have not turned them back on. I do not even know if they even do that still, but
the concerts do have sound.
Yeah.
Let me go join the most recent map though.
Okay.
I think that main story places do have music, but I don't think that the side release. Kotaro's map has music. I may just eat my words right here.
Oh wow.
Hold on. I don't know if. So I have no idea if his stuff is going to be main storyline or what, because a lot of the faction stuff is kind of like side story.
Yeah.
But I mean, like Legion and Nation used to be side story until recently with Malgore invading.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you kind of get introduced to him doing the evil story.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was completely side story. Oh, it has some like Neo Tokyo music. Is the best way I could describe it. It's pretty good. This is definitely a banger.
When I'm editing this, I'll go into the map and I'll record the music and kind of play it in the background since you're talking about it. I think the best ever like hitting, like punching and fighting sound effects I've ever heard was actually recently in the trailer for the newest Batman movie coming out with Robert Pattinson. There's a scene where he's like beating up this thug, like this bad guy, and those are the best, like just impact sound effects I've ever heard. I like got all giddy. I was like, oh, yeah, hell yeah, this is sick. If they could, oh man, could you imagine when you're fighting, it's just like, oh my gosh, I'm geeking out right now.
What could make it easier too is having each of the different weapon types have different like combat sounds. Cause like you got your guns, you got your maces, you got your knives. Yeah. I mean, some of the knives are guns though, so.
Yeah, it's true.
Or dual swords, but I mean that, or flaming fists.
Yeah.
It would probably be harder.
Yeah.
But they'll figure something out, you know.
We'll figure it out.
It's Artix.
Yeah. Who knows? They might we might just be talking about this for no reason. That they might already be doing that. But who knows is what I'm saying. But okay. Let's man, that was good. That brought back a lot of, that was a good conversation. That brought back a lot of like talking about blockbusters. Oh my gosh. Okay.
I have 3 tabs open just on that conversation.
All right. We're going to continue because I could keep going on that forever, but I'm going to try to read these a little faster as we get through this. Next little segment he talks about is that converting games is harder than you think. The only thing harder than creating a brand new game is converting an existing one. I saw a tweet someone made that said something like, they already have the code base. It should be easy to release it, or it has been 5 years. Why have they not released this on mobile yet? It never occurred to me that most people do not know. They do not know the truth. Converting Adventure Quest worlds out of Flash and into something that will run on your phone is about as easy as converting Chinese checkers to chess. And then he says, if you have never seen a Chinese checkers board, Google the image. There is no easy way to one-to-one convert every single item, let alone 10 years of code, cutscenes, animations, and surprisingly complicated art. This is largely due to the amazing things Flash AutoScript 3.0 allowed us to do. It made the game truly unique. The Adventure Quest World's mobile team's focus has been on creating tools to convert the existing armor's items and functionality as closely as possible. I would love to write you a dedicated post on this, and soon we should start a design notes about this to rapid track our progress. The team consists of Warlick, front-end coding and conversation, Yorumi, back-end server logic and database, Tunic, UI and interface, and a ton of shared people including myself. Even though it will be a new game, we will have to recreate every single map, monster, pet, armor, item, story, quest, everything. The big goal of this game is to allow you to simply log in and have all your gear. It should be super fun. Until the armor conversion process is finalized, we are often stuck in a holding pattern. I have been very weary of making any big posts until this is finalized. The crazy color customization we do in AQ Worlds has been absolutely killing us, but we are getting closer every day. As I write this post, I am sitting in a meeting with Tunic working on the login screen. The goal is to still release Adventure Quest Worlds Mobile this year.
He said the CC was killing him. They just recently fixed a CC glitch that's been in the game for so long. But I think what happened is they were messing with it in AQ 3D. And they're like, wait, we fixed it? And then they went back on AQ W. And they're like, oh, we can fix it in here too. So white hair, certain white hairs had a pink tint to it. But it's not there anymore.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, I'm 100% serious.
No way! I always noticed that. There was a set that I would equip, and I liked it with white hair, and I always noticed, I'm like, why does it look slightly pink? Like I don't like that. Like the shadowy parts of it on the hair were like a pink, and I was like, I don't.
Yeah, it's gone. There no more white pink hair.
What? Oh, that's news to me. Okay. All right, that's good.
You can't really compare it to anything else out there because it's so, every language is so vastly different when it comes to coding. I mean, you got your ones and zeros, but it's, my brain cannot comprehend. I mean, I've been up for a while, so my brain's not at full capacity right now.
Yeah.
But my brain cannot comprehend anything that's even comparable to translating coding languages.
I mean, it's a whole language. That's hard. It's a lot. Like you got to think. Like he said in the post, and I quote from the post, there is no easy way to one-to-one convert every single item, let alone 10 years of code, cutscenes, animation, surprisingly complicated art. That's a lot of 10 years of all that. That's so much. You have to dig back so far to find all that and then try to convert it. I don't think there's a way to speed up that process. This is what we have, and this is the converting method, and this is how long it's going to take. Like, it's a long time.
Yeah, you can't just click a button and let it do it for you. You have to do it by hand, sadly.
Him saying they have to recreate all these maps and everything, that you almost need, I mean, they do have like a whole team working on that, but even if you had all the coders and everything from every other game, like putting those games on halt and solely working on this, that would still take a long time.
I wonder if that's where J6 has been, because he's usually the one that does all the maps, to my knowledge.
There's a
Arlette.
Okay, thank you. I'm bad with names, and there's so many to remember in AQW and everything. But yes, Arlette, she does maps also. But yeah, I don't know. J6 is I've always liked J6. He's cool.
J6 is cool.
We should try to have J6 on. That'd be, if he would ever do that, if he can, that'd be so sick. I have so many questions for J6.
I was thinking about it. If we ever have him on, we're going to have to like put a voice mod on him to where it sounds like he's talking through a helmet.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just download like
if he's okay with it.
If he's fine with it, yeah, just have him download the voice mod thing for Discord and pick one that sounds like that fits J6. Though that would be that'd be so cool. Yeah, we should try that. But yeah, there's so much that needs to happen for this to work. I don't know if people feel like, oh, it's Flash, it's easy, and it's 2021. Why can't you convert it so fast? Like, boom, do it. There's a lot to do. People need patience. Patience is a virtue.
Another thing is I mean, we knew Flash was dying about like a year out before it happened, but it kind of came fast. It was like, yo.
It did.
The Grim Reaper came knocking, like a SWAT team. So Flash is dead and gone now.
Flash is dead and gone.
I mean, it's dead. It's not gone because you can't uninstall it from my computer, government. You're not.
Yeah, exactly. I'm keeping it. But did you see on Twitter, again, bad with names, or Artix actually posted it. And it seemed Tunic UI and interface. I wonder if Tunic did it, but he posted a picture of the inventory for
yes.
It, and like the newer, like when the one photo he posted and then after this he posted another photo like or did he or someone did like a side by side comparison, or no, Artix did, because they updated it again and asked us what we thought. And like the old, or the newer version they posted kind of looked like the AQ Lite like character creation screen with like the background picture in the background and everything. But like the newer one that they updated, because everyone was like, I kind of like the old one that you posted like months ago. And then they I think they went off that, and then also like they improved the older one but kind of kept it in that same way. And the newer one that he posted looks 10 times better. It looks so good.
I kind of hope that they have a classic option for the inventory screen.
Yeah.
Because I'm so used to it that like if it changed, I wouldn't have any like. I think, I don't know if it was you and me that touched on this, but like if you have a messy room, you know where everything is.
I remember saying some of that. It might have been you and me, but I think I also remember talking about that in maybe one of my older episodes. Like I talked about how if I have like a pile of just say like chords and it's in a crazy messy pile, I know what all those chords do, and I know exactly where what chord I need is. And if anyone were to organize them and put them away somewhere, I would be lost. I'd be like, wait, no, where is this? Like, I know where everything is, and it's weird.
I feel like that would happen to me if they changed the inventory because, okay, I know exactly where my main armor set is because I have the position of it in my inventory memorized. Like, I have 301 things in my inventory. I know where every single one of them is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But if they change how the inventory looks, I'm going to have no idea where anything is.
That would be, I'd be like, yeah, I'd probably do the same way. I'd be like, oh, wait, what? Because, well, we've been used to it for 10 plus years. So for it to change is like, oh, man. Like recently I lost a little, like a Wi-Fi adapter, and my friend needed it, and I was like, wait, I can't remember what happened, but it was like, at first I was like, wait, where did I put that? And I was like, oh yeah, I know where it is. And it was literally like under a stack of papers over on this like desk over in the other side of the room. And I was like, oh, there it is. Like, I knew where it was. It's weird. Like, I don't know. Like, I know where things are. So that would be weird if they changed it. That would take some time to get used to. So continuing on, did you have anything else to say on the little snippet I read?
No.
Okay.
We need to get through it too. So
Yeah.
even if I did,
Yeah,
I will forever hold my peace.
Okay. We'll never know what Thrud had to say if he did. Looking at the future, next year will be the 20th century. Oh my gosh. Next year will be the 20th anniversary of the original Adventure Quest. Should we apply for a Guinness Book of World Records for 20 years of non-stop weekly releases? I think you should, actually. Why not? The process and techniques we are building for AQ Worlds are important to all of our original games because AQ Worlds is by far the hardest. Mastering this will allow us to recreate our other games too, of course. You probably were already thinking this. Okay, so that was just like, hey, should we? Okay. Other projects and weird stuff. Our battle concerts with Korn, Breaking Benjamin, Alice in Chains, and Dreamers were a hit. I've been looking for some interesting things for us to do next. Our truly live events are one of the fun and unique things we can do. I would like to double down on that experience and take it to the next level. A bunch of our Stranger side projects are getting close to the finish line. The Graveland comic book, the retro NES game Dungeons and DoomKnights, the real-life Dage and Sepultura helmets, and new stuff coming to Hero Mart. Did you see on J6's Twitter the helmet? Oh my god. And the Dage helmet? Dude, okay.
Insta-buy. I don't care how much money's in my bank
account.
Dude,
I will buy one of those. I will buy both of those.
Mm-hmm. I don't... Put a class with it, please.
Oh my gosh.
I'm friends with the person that's doing the comic.
Yeah.
So I'm trying really hard to shut my mouth.
Oh yeah.
About it.
Yeah.
You know what? Okay, the concerts. Yeah. The concert class is actually one of my favorite classes in the game because it has a combo and it feels like you're doing a rhythm when you're playing that class.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And also the animations are sick. Like, actually sick. Like you're vomiting on somebody.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, and you get to walk around with 12k HP. Like, what? Like, you have a boss health bar. You do good damage. You have good sustain. And it's Necromancer, but better.
Okay.
That's what the concert class is, and I've convinced people that Shadow Ripper is my personal class because nobody's ever seen it because of the concert. Every single concert they do, or not every single concert. I don't think they did it for Dreamers. But they release a reskinned version of the concert class with a different name but same skills. And there's two versions of it. There's the noob version, which is, I would compare it to Legion Doom Knight, on like it might not be as strong as Legion Doomknight, but it does the same thing that Legion Doomknight does, but with a little bit less damage.
Uh-huh.
And then the other one, which is harder to get, is it's basically Big Boy Necromancer.
Uh-huh.
I love that class so much. That is...
Yeah.
Like, I'm constantly wearing Legion Revenant, but the concert class is my favorite. It's not... Like, I'm betraying the Legion right here, but it's not Legion Revenant.
Yeah. I don't have the concert class. I'll have to check that out next concert they do. Speaking of like concerts in game, if I'm not mistaken, I think like the first time they ever did something like similar, it's not what the battle concerts are now, but similar was when they had that excuse me, when they had that band. I really don't want to get their name wrong, but I'm going to look at it really quick.
One-Eyed Doll or Voltaire?
Oh, you know what? Actually, it might have been... No, it actually might have been that. I was thinking of... Man, yeah, you're right. How could I forget that? That was definitely the first times they really did that. I remember. It was a band called... They Might Be Giants.
Oh.
Do you remember that?
Oh, yes. That's a Yulgar questline. We looped back to Yulgar somehow.
Yeah. That was cool. I really... And it turned me on to a band. I mean, I haven't listened to them since then, but when that was going on, I was like really into their music. They were really good.
Another OP class came out with that. The Vindicator of They was... so cool. Like, it looked so... Okay, I remember I was one day away from getting it.
Yeah.
Before it went rare.
Yeah.
And I was so upset, dude. I think I literally... I may have cried.
It might have happened.
Yeah. I mean, I donated it. But, I think I must have been like 14. 14-year-old Thrud cried over not getting Vindicator of They.
Yeah.
But when I came back to the game, I had all the tokens except for one turn in for Collector. So
yeah,
that happened.
Yeah, I didn't get that class and I should have. I mean, I'm gonna have to now item of donate it, but
Collector is the same class as Vindicator of They. But the damage numbers are different. I think Vindicator of They has more damage on the DOT, whereas Collector has more damage on the burst. But I think they do very close numbers.
Gotcha.
I think Vindicator is a little bit higher, though.
Right. When that Graveland comic book comes out, I'm definitely going to read that. I would like to, because I never really indulged myself in comics before. And I'd like to kind of read some, but I'll definitely be reading that one because it's something I understand. So it'll be cool for me to read it. And the retro NES game, the Dungeons and Doomknights, I'm definitely gonna get that because I have an NES. I'm going to buy the actual cartridge and when I do that, I'm no tech wizard, so I obviously have to look up how to do this, but I know there's a way. And I want to be able to record the footage from the NES and have like my camera like filming like my hands playing the controller. That's something I'm trying to do. I want to do research on because there has to be a way. My friend, he's really like very tech savvy in that way. Like he's good at figuring out how to do stuff like that. And I remember I think I saw someone on YouTube do that, but like I don't know if it's the only way to do it, but it was kind of complicated. It was very complicated actually. So I'm going to try. If I can, I'm definitely going to try to do that and throw it up on the Lankey channel because I think that would just be cool. But if I can't do it that way, then I mean, I'm still going to get the cartridge because I want that. But then I'll do like the computer version so I can just record it, with OBS or something.
I might get one for my grandpa. He has an NES that sits in his spare bedroom, and
oh yeah,
This man is the he is the oldest gamer I have ever seen.
Really?
Yes, and he's gamer down to like the very definition. Like this dude, his diet consists of Mountain Dew and Vienna sausages, and that's strictly that.
Yeah.
He has a garden in his front yard, and all he does is manage his garden.
Mm-hmm.
And he will beat the NES games that he has currently over and over again. Like I think he may hold the world record for times cleared on Super Mario Bros.
That's awesome.
Like he's very humble about it though. Like this man, he can clear any single level in that game with ease.
Yeah.
Like he has it all memorized.
That's so cool.
Yeah, he's a gaming inspiration for me. Except the only thing that I think, actually no, he has a catheter in, so he doesn't get up to go to use the bathroom.
He just sits there and just games.
Oh yeah, he probably showers though.
He probably.
Yeah, so
yeah.
He's not fully ascended to the gamer god, but he's pretty close.
He's like, I'm a gamer, but come on,
I have to shower.
I got to, That's awesome. But yeah, if you are able to get the cartridge and get that from him for a little bit so you can play it on that would just be a cool experience, just to be able to play it like that.
I don't know if it's going to be multiplayer or not either, because I think it's in the early stages of it though.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, and I can't really... I'm not Artix. I have no idea what's going on with the NES game, but I'll definitely be picking it up when it comes out.
Definitely. Oh, for sure.
All of the items listed will be picked up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. I want the gold cartridge. It just looks nice.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
It does.
It stands out a lot.
Yeah.
There's a red cartridge that he has that it was like, oh, it's red. It's so much cooler than the other cartridges.
Oh no, man, the red one might be pretty dang cool. That's one of my two colors that I like are red and black. So I might have to. Yeah, we're almost done with this article. There's like two more things that he talks about, and then we'll and then because we don't have much time left, but we'll fly through the Discord questions because they're not hard. They're just kind of fun questions that I want to ask you. Okay, so the Secret Underground Lab gets a facelift. It has been over a year since we have had any tours of the lab, and for good reason. Everyone has been working from home since the start of the pandemic. We are getting ready to open things back up, though. Right now, at the lab, the carpets are being ripped up to be replaced, and the walls are getting a fresh coat of paint, which means we finally get to replace that ugly yellow color on the wall in my office. You guys have probably seen that in the Artix Entertainment YouTube channel. You've seen the Underground Lab. There was a weird yellow color. I am eager to work side by side with the team again. We have a ton of new team members whom I have never met in real life. This includes Blaze, Avalon, Tunic, Valerio. He wrote Avalon again. Whoops, typo. Bat, and others. One thing is for sure, the telecommuting, that threw me off for a second, will be a regular part of our new normal. I think a lot of game companies are finding this to be true. I wonder if that's made things easier. I mean, I want to know. I don't own a company, so I'm not like, I don't talk to a bunch of employees. You know what I mean? So
I was head of something with my job, and it was kind of annoying, honestly.
Was
it being responsible? Yeah.
I could imagine.
Because it's like, oh, you're at home? Well, get on the meeting, schlump, you know?
Yeah.
Because I had to go relay everything to everybody that was not under me, but my coworkers.
Yeah.
I had to be at every single one of the meetings, and it didn't matter if it was rain, shine, snow, middle of the night. I had to be in that meeting because I didn't have an excuse not to be, because all I had to do was get to my computer.
Exactly.
But it's made it a lot easier to get information out because I don't have to be there physically, which means, you could even put it in your ear like a podcast if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
as long as you can hear what they're talking about.
I just always feel like doing everything in person is always better. Like, 'cause it's hard to talk like on Discord or something. Like it would be like, think of this, like it'd be a lot easier for us to do this podcast in person. Like having a conversation with a like face to face with someone, it's just easier for a conversation to flow. And then I feel like if things just go to talking through Discord and doing it like telecommuting and not so much in person anymore, people like lose that skill of like talking to people. you forget how to talk to someone in person. But I mean, I in some aspects I could definitely see that like helping a lot of things for sure. And the last thing he kind of talks about his life and work schedule. I'm going to fly through this. He talks about, it's pretty interesting because I've already read this, so I think people will find this interesting as well. So, my life and work schedule: work harder, not smarter. For the past 2 years, I've been burning the candle at both ends and also in the middle. 100% my own fault. I'm grateful for it. You probably do not know this, but 2.5 years ago, I hit a super rough patch and lost my fire. Hey, working on anything for nearly 20 years, and it's bound to happen. To rekindle my love for video games and creativity, I got a stick and went on a walk in the woods. Spent a lot of time thinking back to when I was little. Remember what it was like going to my friend's house and sitting on his couch, watching him play video games on his Nintendo. Because he would not let me play. Though all the games, movies, and experiences that shaped who I am. Oh, thought of all those experiences, sorry. Skipping a longer version of this story, I got my old NES out of storage and to train my kids classically. This, of course, led directly to creating the 8-bit NES project, Dungeons and DoomKnights. It was a personal project that I would build in my spare time to reignite my inner flame. You can see it in my eyes when I talk about it, but it was supposed to be a 2-month project, not 2 years. I feel safe talking about this because of how close it is to being finished, but wow, has it been a weird personal journey that has changed me. I wake up early in the morning than I would like. The kids wake me up first, jump on me, 3 high-speed 50-pound alarms that show no mercy. I start work around 9:30 a.m. and work on the major AE games until 6:30-ish p.m. Glazelle is my handler and is typically in my voice chat with me for those 8 to 9 hours. Then I have about 3 hours of quality family time training my little ninjas. I put them to bed around 9:30 p.m. and return to my computer to work on my night project. From 9:30 p.m. to about 1 a.m. I work on Dungeons and DoomKnights with Clarion. Then repeat. Been doing this 11-hour-ish schedule nearly every day, weekdays and weekends for the past 2 years. For far too long, I have had zero free time. I have a hard time going to sleep after I wrap up, so I normally put some series on Netflix and fall asleep after 15 minutes. No idea why, but Star Trek The Next Generation is often my go-to. I've never watched Star Trek, ever. Hindsight being 2021, it should have been possible to have done this without sacrificing so much, but there is no greater feeling than actually finishing something you have worked on, that you have worked that hard on. That is true for anything you put your heart and soul into, and it will definitely be true for all of the game projects we talked about today. If you're still reading this, wow and thank you. This was a bit of a novel. I used to write nearly every design notes post, but I don't think these article style updates are the best way to communicate daily anymore. I'm going to experiment with video to rapid fire our progress updates. Super looking forward to being back in the lab to do it. Was nice talking to you again. Let's keep it going. Battle on. Artix. That sounds like a stressful work schedule, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, being in a voice call for that long, I don't remember how long I said. But that's like a long time.
8 to 9 hours. Yeah, that is a long time. And plus you're at home too, so you're like sitting in your computer all comfortable and stuff, and you're like home, but you have to work, and you're sitting there. That would be very daunting.
Even when I was working from home, they shortened the hours because they didn't want us to be on a computer sitting on our butt that long.
Yeah.
I think it was 5 hours on a computer.
Right.
It was so tiring. I don't understand how he can do 8 to 9 hours doing that.
It's different if you're playing a game because time flies by so fast. It's pretty easy to play games to your computer for 5 hours and play a game, but like, yeah, they're creating games and stuff, but it's work. It's still work. You know what I mean? It's not like they're all kicking back playing, games. They're working. So that would be so hard to do. I don't know if I could do that, man. That's a very stressful schedule.
He also said that he took his Nintendo out of storage.
Yeah.
And it kind of made me think, there was like a meme going around the community saying that all the servers ran off of Artix's old computers.
Yeah.
Which I'm pretty sure that's actually how it goes. Like I think the servers are actually running off of some of his computers.
Right.
I was like, huh? He's not using the NES to run another server?
He's not using the NES?
I was like, oh, he's got an old piece of tech that he's not using. But I mean, that's also another thing that I could be completely lying about. I have no idea what the servers run on.
Right.
But actually, speaking of like game consoles running servers, I heard that NASA has I think it's PS4s that they use as server. Yeah, they use as servers.
NASA? I don't even. How do you do that? How do you use a?
No idea.
How do you do that? I mean, I guess leave it up to NASA to figure out how to do it. But how do you? What?
I don't know if it's It's one of the bigger companies, and I don't think it's Elon Musk. So it was either him or NASA.
Honestly, I feel like it would be Elon Musk just for the meme, just because he memes a lot. So I feel like he'd be like, yeah, I'm running servers off of PS4. like it's that easy.
Why can't you guys do this?
Exactly. Yeah. It's just rubbing it in like, okay, shut up, dude. Like, you're doing all this cool tech and stuff. Like, I hate you, kind of. Like,
I don't think he's there to brag, but like,
no,
he's just so awesome that just the aura that he radiates is just awesomeness.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't blame him for bragging. When you've done things that he's done, you're in that position, you kind of earn the right to brag.
Oh yeah, 100%. So
I wouldn't be upset if he was bragging. But it's good to know that, within that schedule, he's taking time to work on dungeons and DoomKnights and all this, and they're working long hours to get all this stuff done. Like it kind of, this whole little post about his schedule and stuff kind of puts into perspective that they're basically constantly working and only sleeping for like 5-6 hours, basically, maybe even less at sometimes.
They're just like us.
Yeah, exactly. They're just like us, but they're creating the games. So, but that was and did you notice the pictures in this post of Artix? He looks like an action figure.
I don't know. It looks like, so you know how Apple did the thing where you can like have it scan your face?
Oh, yeah.
And make an emoji off it. That's what it looks like.
When I first saw this, I was like, huh? I was like, Artix got plastic surgery?
It was weirding me out because, like,
I know.
I didn't know if the rest of it was also not real. But I think the rest of it's real. I still can't tell.
I can't tell either. When the very first picture, like, that is about this, I was like, Artix doesn't look like action figure handsome like that. Like, no one looks like that. Like, I was like, what? I was like, is this a new action figure? Like, is he going to talk about that? Like, he didn't even mention about, like, what do you guys think of the photos? Like, I don't know. I don't know. That was just something I noticed. I'm sure everyone else that read this post knows that. They're like, what? But I haven't seen anything on Twitter about it. Like, what's up with these photos? Like, why do you look like a Toy Story character? All right. So that was the post. I'm gonna quickly run through the Discord questions. We don't have to. 1 second,
because we also did miss a question on Twitter.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
It was
Tana,
yeah. So, yeah. So, it was, who are you and what do you do? I think.
Yes. Okay.
So I'm Thrud. I've been playing Adventure Quest for almost 11 years now. Or Adventure Quest Worlds. I've been playing Adventure Quest longer than that. What I do now is I've been trying to get more involved in the community, trying to get some community stuff set up before I have to leave. But yeah, that's what I do. I'm trying to be active in the community, and that's really all I do.
That's good that you reminded me of that, because I would have forgot that we did miss a Twitter question. So Discord questions, digital, this person on the Discord server. If you guys haven't joined the Discord server, I'll tweet it out. I need to tweet out more than I do because the link keeps expiring, but I will tweet it. Anti-Sam actually posted on Twitter, any chance we will get new AE action figures and restock in Artix and Sepulture action figures? And there's a picture of Drakith and Artix behind him, the action figures. Yeah, I never got any of the action figures. I think those would be cool to have.
I have Artix. Don't have the Sepulture one though.
Mm-hmm. That'd be cool.
But I really like Artix. He sits on my shelf, and he has his axe raised in the air.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But they never sold the Drakith one.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I didn't either. That's what, like, when you sent me that, I was like kind of confused, and I stumbled upon my words. But I apologize for that, everyone listening. But I was looking at this trying to figure out, like, what is that? I don't remember them ever selling that. But yeah, that'd be a really cool action figure to have.
Oh yeah,
that would be awesome.
The original bad boy of Adventure Quest.
Yeah, the original bad boy. Discord questions. Digital X asks, what got you, Thrud, into art? I would feel it would be an interesting one.
Yeah, it was literally just to troll my friend. Like I said in the last episode, I put Rip Nation on one of the tombstones in my first ever piece that I had commissioned.
Right.
And I thought it was hilarious at the time, but the artist made it look really cool, so I continued to do art to commission art pieces. So my end goal was to commission everybody in the Artix Entertainment art world. Obviously not every single person who makes armors in the game, because that would be stupidly expensive, and
that'd be extremely expensive.
I wouldn't even know what to commission them. My brain can't come up with that many original ideas. I don't know how they've been doing it for 12 years.
Yurgi asks, well, they kind of just said still rooting for guild houses. And I'm new to guilds, but what do you think about guild houses?
If they're going to do guild houses, they're going to have to release a bunch of them at once. But I'm pretty sure that Arlette could probably whip those out pretty fast if she was given that task.
Yeah, probably.
Get a nation one, get a legion one, get an evil one, get a good one, get the celestial one,
Yeah.
You could even do a Darkon one.
That would be so sick.
Maybe a Kotora one.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they're gonna do guild houses, I think that's the route they should go with it, because that kind of gives your guild more of a theme than just having whatever house that you have on be the guild house.
Yeah. I just saw this. What do you think? I don't know if this is even possible, so I guess this is just kind of a theoretical idea, but what if they released, what if you get a guild house and you could purchase a guild house for your guild, like you do like a normal house, or, I guess you could do it in a shop, or you could go to the Centaur house place. But what if you could have a house and have a list of different styles of house, layouts, basically floor plans. And it would just be a completely empty house like normal. It's not decorated, obviously. But you could kind of color customize each room to fit your maybe a color theme that you have for your guild. So it's unique to every person. I don't know if that's possible, but I think that would be cool. If they worked on a project where they put a lot of time and focus into being able to really customize like your own guild house?
The original plan for guild housing, I remember testing it out, and it used to be like an avenue, like that would lead to everybody in the guild's house.
Really?
So yes, I don't know if it was everybody in the guild or if it was just the officers, but that was the original plan for it.
Whoa, that's interesting.
Some cool things that they could do. Not, I think, yeah, color customization would be really cool for each of the rooms.
Yeah.
But I think that guild achievements would be sick too. And then your guild could have different achievements like hung up in your guild hall or whatever.
Yeah.
But just another way of flexing in game.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that would be really cool because that would also give guilds a reason to exist, to flex. Like, hey, look at us. We got all of these achievements on our wall. What do you got?
Right.
Oh, you Chet and Yulgar? Stuff like that.
I got one more question, and the last three are pretty easy to answer, so we're going to rapid fire those, the last three. Hikari asks, I noticed Thrud commissions a good bit of artists for his OCs, or his OC. What influenced him to create the atmosphere in the commissions that you usually go for?
I don't do that. So the first one I did. The very first commission was great. It was in a graveyard, and it was because I wanted to do it on the tombstone.
Right.
All of the other ones that have been like in the dark, gloomy atmosphere, all of those have been up to the artist, because I'll give the artist they call it, I don't like calling it an OC because I'm taking art that other people did and smashing it together.
Right.
But I do actually have a version of Thrud that is completely original art.
Nice.
That is a little bit inspired. I mean, it is inspired by my set, but I can send that to you. I'm not gonna show everybody that.
Right.
But when it's finished, I'll make sure you guys can see it.
Nice.
But yeah, I give them my character from Adventure Quest Worlds, and I'm like, yo, here's this. Go make something sick, Yeah. The one that I'm using as my Discord profile picture. He's friends with Darkon, the artist that did this.
Nice.
So I thought that was really cool.
That is cool.
But yeah, I literally told him, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do your most expensive package. I want you to do the best art that you've done so far,
Yeah.
Because that's what a lot of people say when they do one of my things. They're like, yo, I think this is the best thing that I've done. I'm like, you know what? That's more than I could have asked for,
Right.
But
definitely.
Yeah, I think the whole graveyard theme really does fit him, just because he has the whole cross on his back. He's undead, and he's got a crow. So.
I like the crow. The crow's a really good touch. All right, so these are all segment ideas, which is why I'm asking them. I'm going to make them part of like segments and ask people when we interview people, because I think they're interesting. I'd like to hear what they have to say, and I want to hear what you have to say. So we're going to rapid fire these, answer them to the best and give as much information as you can. So Hikari asks, a theoretical event, what kind of atmosphere would you like to establish? What scenery would you put in a place to put a certain feeling in the player's mind when you traverse the area? What thoughts would you want them to have?
There was this scene that Jester made. Jester is one of my favorite artists on Twitter. But it was a map. Or it wasn't a map. It was just scenery with giant stone swords sticking out of it. And I think that would be sick for a Sword Haven story. Okay. Because you don't really have a super powerful characters from Sword Haven, right?
Yeah.
I think a round table like story for them would be sick.
Ooh, okay.
And maybe have like 7 knights from Swordhaven and have their 7 gigantic swords sticking out of the ground, and then they shrink down whenever the knights return to them or something, so that they can actually wield them.
Ooh.
But
okay.
like it just, and I think Arlette asked if she could make an AQW map off of it, and he said sure. So it might already be in the works, what I'm talking about. But
Nice.
It was so cool looking. Like, just giant swords are cool. Period.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds real. Wow, that was a really good answer. That sounds cool.
Giant things in general have so much power to them because they're so much larger than you. Like, when I look at a mountain, I'm like, I can climb that, but I can't comprehend, like, especially when they're farther away, how many steps it's going to take me to get up that mountain.
Yeah.
So there are things in Adventure Quest now that are like huge.
Right.
So
They just
there's that.
put in perspective how small you really are. Wow.
Like Geyzor, I think is his name. His or her, I don't. There's 2 of them, and they're both huge.
That was a good answer. I like that one. And Anatis asks, NPC battles. Pick 2 NPCs and talk about who would win in a fight to the death.
The Champion of Darkness and the Champion of Light, Gravelin and Artix. I think that would be a sick battle.
That would be sick.
You kind of see something similar to this in the backstory of Sepulcher, Altion, and Altion's wife, because they all wield a dragon. And I know that I think we're also the Champion of Time, because we're the Time Dragon.
Oh, yeah.
But Artix is the Champion of Darkness. He has the Dark Dragon form that he can turn into, right?
Yeah.
Gravelin is a Champion of Light, correct? Or am I just tripping? Not entirely sure. But so if he can transform into Big Black Dragon, she should be able to turn into Big Light Dragon, you know?
Right.
That battle could go all kinds of different ways.
It could. And yes, she is the Champion of Light. Gravelin is the daughter of DoomKnights Sepulcher and Lineria Altion, King Altion's wife. She is the Empress of the Shadow Scythe, the main force of evil of the World of War. She is also the Champion of Light.
Awesome.
So
I'm not tripping that hard.
You were not tripping. No. Alrighty. And the last one comes from J6. Theoretical Adventure Quest movie discussion. What would the story be? Who would it follow? Animated or live action? Who would be cast?
Mandalorian, but J6 and parodies all over the place would be very good. Either that or so I love Swordhaven, dude. Omega Chad Altion. He's so cool. I really wish.
Omega Chad Altion.
Yeah, and Simpulcher. I really wish that they would like that. That whole story is so cool. How Sepulcher came to be and how Swordhaven came to be. All of that, and Altion, them taking over I forgot Doomhaven? Yeah, they took over Doomhaven, and that is what is now Swordhaven.
Right.
So I think that would make a really cool story too.
That would be cool. Would it be animated or live action?
I was gonna say, I feel like animation would probably do it more justice, because it's a lot easier to animate like really cool things. Like you look at anime and you see the fight scenes that they have there, and there's always magic stuff going on, and it looks so cool. But then even now we have like the Avengers. Right. There's magic and stuff that goes on in there, and it looks just as good as anime.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you do get the moments where sometimes like actors are just falling over and stuff because they got hit lightly, but overall it looks really cool. But I do think that the origins of Swordhaven would be sick.
And if you are able to think of any actors or actresses, who would you cast
No idea.
No
I
idea.
can't.
Trying to think who could play a king like Altion or something.
Before he got his like kingly appearance, he looked just like Garen from League of Legends is the closest thing I can think of. But I don't know who could do that well.
I feel like we have to fit Hugh Jackman in there somehow.
I feel like Hugh Jackman could probably be one of the bad guys in there.
I think Big Hugh could be in there.
100%.
Yeah.
If we're gonna put him in there, we might as well put who's the other Canadian that does Marvel? He also did DC. Why can I not think of him? He does Aviator. The drink brand.
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh.
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds. Yeah.
Yeah. Put him in there too. If we're gonna put Hugh Jackman, we get him in there
I
too.
mean, yeah, why not? Alrighty. I think that wraps up. I think things are winding down, and we answered everything. We talked about the post and all that. One thing I want to mention is because I saw this as we're recording, that talking about the new release coming this Friday. I believe this is the release that Inanitus wrote. So that'll be exciting to see that. And Alina posted a picture of the area and a character named Flames or Flames, guard armor, and Tana Pyre actually created a character from his time at working or doing art for AE called Flame or Fiame. I'm definitely pronouncing that wrong. So he's thinking maybe that might be the character that he created that's going to be in it. If so, that's cool. So I thought I would mention that because he seemed very excited about it. So if that happens, that's awesome. And I believe that was it. Yeah, that's it. Alrighty. That, ladies and gentlemen, was AdventureCast episode 8. If you guys enjoyed this episode, whatever you're listening here, actually in the comments, if you're listening to this on YouTube or whatever you're listening to it on, go to YouTube and go in the comments. Tell me what you're listening to this on, because I checked the analytics for the podcast and I believe it said most people are listening to this on Spotify, on iOS actually. I'm just curious is all, just to see what people are listening to this, and also leave in the comments if you want me to on the videos, because when I upload this to YouTube and when I'm editing this, I just put the thumbnail and a time code at the bottom left of the screen. But do you guys want me to like put on screen what we're talking about? And because I think like people aren't really, there's nothing to watch really. It's not like you're just listening, so I'm just curious to see what people want and if that would be something, because when we're talking about things, are people like, oh, I wonder if he's putting on screen what they're talking about, like pictures or whatever. So if you want me to do that, let me know. I'll definitely try to work that into the videos. But yeah, so thank you guys for listening. You can follow me on Twitter at LankyAQW, and you can follow the podcast at AC Live Podcast. And on Twitter, I will tweet out the Discord server link so you guys can come and join and hang out and chat and all that good stuff. You can ask us questions and give us more segment ideas if you guys want to, because I like that little segment idea thing. It's cool. So Thrud, plug away, sir.
I'm Thrud, at Thrud10 on Twitter. Follow me for giveaways, or if you have any questions about artists or just want to look at some sick art. Have a good one. This has been episode 8 of AdventureCast.
Alrighty, guys. We will see you next week in episode 9. Peace.